Hi, welcome to Gig Garage. My name is Zach, and this is my fun little internet show about whitewater stuff. And today we're going to talk about some safety stuff. I've been kind of doing knots lately and some basic systems, and this is by no means a swiftwater rescue show. I just want to talk about some basic systems and give some of my takes on how to use some of these things. And today I want to introduce this thing called a Petzl Micro Traxion. It's not something I'm saying you should necessarily use or buy. We'll talk about how it's useful in a little bit. But a lot of you commented about, a lot of you that are, advanced boaters have commented about using this, and I want to talk about what it does so those of you that might want to get it can consider it. But before we talk about it, I just want to make a really important point to me, and that's that anytime you're in a rescue situation, or whether it's a boat or a person, whether it's just equipment or it's actually like somebody's life on the line or just getting people out of the water, I think those situations are very tense, and it causes adrenaline to go up, and people, that's when you start having struggles with ropes and knots, not because you don't know them, because that extra tension. And I think also with gear. So I think for me, when I'm on some sort of rescue situation, I like to know that everybody with me has had a similar type of training. We've learned the basic knots, everybody's learned the same knots, everybody has the same information, but we also have the same equipment and familiarity with the same equipment. So I really like in safety kits for us to have, prussics, pulleys, carabiners, webbing, the similar types of rope, and that way we're all familiar with these things. As soon as somebody on a rescue introduces a new technique or a new piece of equipment people aren't familiar with, it's not standard, it might do better work, but when we don't all know how that works, it can create some confusion and struggle in that safety scenario. And it might make things 10%, 20%, 50% better or more efficient, but when the team breaks down, it becomes a mess. So again, I'd highly recommend staying with the straightforward systems that everybody kind of already knows and knows how to do with equipment people are familiar with, and it just makes things better. I'll talk a little bit later about when we might want to introduce more advanced stuff. But on a typical trip, we have these types of things. And last episode, I talked about this system, and this is a simple progress capture system. And the idea is that this webbing, this 1-inch tubular webbing, is anchored to a tree or a rock or something on shore, and we're trying to pull off something. Now, this something could be a raft, it could be a kayak, it could be a person. We could just be tying a line to make a line across the river to get back and forth. Who knows what it is? But we're trying to pull hard on this line. And what happens in the field when we're pulling on stuff is people pull and get tired, and pull and get tired. And that's where this simple progress capture system comes into play. We talked about this in the last episode, so if you want to learn how to do it, please do it there. But the idea is that you can pull, and this prussic is binding on the rope, and you can let go and keep some of your progress. And so what I like to do when I'm pulling hard on a boat, before introducing mechanical advantage, because this has no mechanical advantage, just do progress capture. Pull, pull, pull. All right, everybody stop. Pull, 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 pull. Everybody stop. And this, again, this captures some of the progress you made in the pulling and keeps some of the tension going. The issue is that every time you pull, you can see you pull a little bit and then it gives up some too. And it sure would be nice to exactly capture all the progress you've made. To do that, it would be tricky. You can do it. Your gear would have to be perfect. Between the pulley and the prussic size and the carabiners you use, you'd have to minimize this distance. And you have to have a very specific set of gear to make this distance, I'm not sure if this makes sense, this distance really small. But again, I really like this progress capture system for pulling off boats. What this thing does, and this is what I think most people should use, what this thing does is this is a pulley that also does progress capture. So it's all built into one, and it immediately progress captures. And when I would use this is if I'm with a lean and mean team of a few people. So if I'm commercially guiding, I would never pull this out because most people don't know what this is. But if it's like 2 or 3 people capboating, there's not enough manpower to pull 5 or 6 people on a rope. But you can, you're with people that are experts, they'll see this, they'll get it quickly. Or you can just have a minute to say, hey guys, I know you've learned progress capture. This is a progress capture pulley. You guys cool with me using it? Cool, let's use it. So this is what I use for small groups, mostly catboating, maybe rafting, but probably mostly catboating, or maybe kayaking. And the cool thing about this is I'll show you how it works in a second, but it works as just a straight pulley too, so you don't have to use the progress capture part. I just locked up that part right now, so you can use it as a regular pulley. And so let's take this apart really quick. And today I'm using these black diamond fancy carabiners that they're Magneton or Magnetron or something. They're pretty cool because they just use magnets and you don't have to worry about locking or unlocking them. And they come undone really easily. Pull this prusik off. And again, I'm going to pull this pulley off the system. And in its place, I'm just going to put this Petzl Micro Traxion, I don't know how to pronounce it, Micro Traxion Somebody out there probably knows better. And it's a little, if you haven't used it much, you kind of fumble around for a little bit. It's pretty similar to a pulley. This goes on here. Pulleys work way better with the oval carabiners, but I think they'll work fine with this pear-shaped carabiner. We're about to find out. And you know, the thing here now, oops, I have put it on the wrong way. This is why it's good to practice with these things, because you might put it on and have to redo the whole system. And all of this, when you're under some sort of tension or stress, it gets even harder. Right now I'm behind a camera, so like I'm always a little stressed out behind a camera. So I'm likely to make mistakes. So what this does, sort of like the progress capture system we did, is just immediate progress capture. It's pretty sweet. So you just go pull, 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 stop. All that tension's still there. Pull, 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 stop. And so you can just, like, you know, you and one or two of the people can just take a quick pull and take a break. Take a quick pull and take a break. And you keep getting that little bit of progress every time you do it. It's pretty cool. And then to undo it, you just have to pull a little bit and then hold the progress capture thing up. And the cool thing I like about this is it can also be used as a regular pulley. So if you don't want progress capture, which sometimes you don't, you can lock the teeth up. And what it does, this thing has teeth that dig into the rope. You can lock the teeth up and then you have a regular pulley. So if you want to use this in a regular pulley application, cool. If you want to turn on the progress capture, you can do that too. So for me, like I said, it's a $130 piece of equipment. It's really light and has sealed bearings. It's pretty high tech. This is something that kayaking, I might carry in my PFD, right? Because I know how to use it. I can turn it into a regular pulley. But if I need something with just one or two of us to work, I have it working. And it's pretty light, it's pretty small. Again, it's $130, so it's not cheap. But if you like high-tech stuff, and you're somebody who's boating with small groups of leading people, it's a great little thing to have, but I recommend practicing with it. Again, if you're a commercial guide, you're working with big groups of people, I would stay with the basics so you're all on the same page. But for those of you that want to do something high-tech, I'd recommend just trying this thing out. So I'll put a link down in the show notes to where you can buy this thing on Amazon. If you buy it on Amazon, I get a few bucks. It's a way to support the show. So if you want to buy one of these, you know, you can help support the show by purchasing it through Amazon. And yeah, so those of you that have used it, please leave a comment below. Say yes, it's awesome, or if you think this is a terrible idea and nobody should ever use it, I'd love to hear it, because I'm kind of on the fence on this one. Like, I only bring it, you know, once in a while, and I've never used it in the field for real. I've never actually had an opportunity that's presented itself for me where I've needed this and used it. I brought it up, but I've never used it. But if you have used it, please let me know if it worked well, if it was confusing. I'd love to have comments down in the comments section. So that's it for this time. See you in the next episode. Bye.